Hi everyone! So I know that many of you asked me to make a video to show you how I made my videos. So there's a couple different things that I wanted to show you. The first thing is that right now I'm using a thing called Screencast-O-Matic. There's a basic version which is free and you get up to 15 minutes of recording. I purchased the Next Level Up account, which is like $1 something a month, so it cost me $12 for the year. But it just made it so that I can edit my videos and that I can have longer than 15-minute videos, which I thought was really helpful when I'm trying to read some of the stuff to my kids. So what you're seeing right now is when it's just focused on my webcam. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you do both. So I'm going to click a button. You can't see it, but I'll take a picture of it from my phone. It's a little screen that has another small little screen at the bottom. So your big screen will slide down to the bottom like this. So this gives you the ability for the students to see your screen while they still see you. So I use this with my math videos when I'm writing on my little board so that they can still see the question, but they can also see what I'm writing down, and then I make it big again so that they can see this. Now, if you're someone who just wants them just to see your screen, you don't want them to see you, there's one that's just a big blank square, and it looks like this. And this means they can't see you, they can only see your screen. Okay, and you can see that your mouse is highlighted. You can also turn that off if you don't want it on. I like it on because most of the time it's me showing my kids what to do. Um, the reason I like this program is that when I was trying just to use my webcam, everything was coming out backwards. So like when I'd write something on my whiteboard, it would be backwards. So I had used this a few years ago, and so I tried it, and I was so excited that it wasn't backwards, so that's why I used this one. I haven't tried Zoom, but I heard that Zoom's pretty good too, so I'm sure they're super duper similar. What I'm going to show you today is how I made my work digital, and this should work the same as Liz's, like on that you can upload onto like the website portion. I'm using mine with Google Classroom, but it should be the same in the sense that you're uploading material for the kids. So it'll just be a file. All right, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So the first thing you need to do is you need to just go to Google. We all have Google. You're going to come over to the three boxes, and you're going to go to your drive. So this is a little off center, so let me see if I can get this. So what I always start with is a Google slide, and then I'll show you how I make it so the kids can't touch it. So if I go here, I'm going to go to New Google Slide. I'm going to get rid of all this because I don't want any of this. I'm going to name whatever it is going to be a template because it's not the actual thing I'm going to give to my kids. It's what I'm using to edit. And then I'm going to change the sizing to be the size of a paper. I found that doing 11 by 8.5, which is landscape, works best for creating digital work. If you do 8.5 by 11, it makes it really like long, like a regular piece of paper, portrait size. But it's a little tricky because the kids then have to zoom in and zoom out. And even when I was working in it, it was just harder. So I just found that it was easier just to separate it into like bigger chunks for the kids to see. So I'm going to make mine landscape. So I'm going to come down here to where it says page setup. I'm going to click that. And then it automatically does a widescreen. You're going to click the down arrow and do custom. So I'm going to change this to 11 by 8.5 and hit apply. And now it'll make it the size of a piece of paper, just landscape. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the template of what I want my kids to be able to do. I'm not going to lie to you, this is the most time-consuming part of the entire process. Once you have this template done, then it becomes super easy. So I'm going to show you one that I already kind of started, and you can kind of see why it was easy once it was started. So let's go. I'm going to go back to my Google Drive. So if I go to my documents, so in here these are my days for reading. So what I did is I have a template, which is not anywhere on here. This is on the other page. I'm still using it. So this is my template. So if you can see, it says reading template. So this part was the hardest. because this was creating it all. So I had to add text boxes, I added pictures. You don't have to get that in depth, but this is the one that if I click, I can edit it. So the template is basically your edited version. To make it so that it's not editable is you go in, you make it what you want, then you come up here. See how my slide is highlighted right now? This is the only slide that'll be what I want it to be. So I'm going to do File, Download, and I'm going to do PNG image. So when I download that, this is now a picture. So the reason that I'm asking you to do it that way is because now when I go to make this, I have what I want my kids to be able to do, but by making it a picture, now they can't touch it. So anything you don't want them to be able to move is now like glued, which is fabulous because the first time I did this, we had kids accidentally deleting things and it was just messy. So the way to get it to be there is you're going to go over, you're going to click your slide. I made this smaller so it would fit on my screen so I could see everything. I want to do background. I'm trying to figure out where it is. Okay, so you're going to hit background. You can choose a color, you can do whatever you want. For this one, to make it a digital resource, I'm going to do choose image. And then I'm going to click the image that I just saved down here as a photo, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop it in. And you're going to hit done, and now it's on here, but now the kids can't touch anything. They can't move anything. They can't erase anything. Okay? This is really helpful for when you want them to write something that you can put the question up so they can't delete it. This is just the very basic start of creating digital lessons or digital work for them. I'm going to show you some things that I've done, which took a lot of more legwork, but once one was created, it became very easy for the others. So I'm going to show you what section 8 of the Ivan book I'm reading actually looked like for the kids to be able to use. So, because then I feel like you'll get a better idea. So this is what the kids would see. So they can't move any of this stuff. This stuff's all locked. The only thing that's not locked is the text box. And every time I want them to be able to do something with the text, I just I add a text box over here. So this would be add text box. And I drag it to the size I want, and I type in edit text. I changed the color just for visual appeal for the kids. One of the other interactive things that I did is that they have to drag the vocabulary words. So the only thing on this paper that they can move are the vocabulary words. So they can drop them to wherever they think they should go, which I found really helpful. The way that you would do this part is a little different. So you would make this part an image, okay? And then you would make these on a separate side. So when I did that, I don't know if it shows you on here. Yep, so down here are removable pieces. So I just made a separate side. I won't download this one. This is just for me. So when I'm ready to move something, I would just click them. I usually just highlight them all. So if I want to do these ones, I would hit copy. And then I would go to whatever the finished side was and hit paste, and they would show up all together. And this one's just a movable piece. This one is very similar to that. Again, this is not movable, but these are. This is a sequencing activity, first, second, third. Okay, that was really fun. Another one that I did was true and false, and I made a circle and I put it on the number, so it was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they said it in the direction said drag the blue circle to hover over true or false. That one was interactive and they enjoyed that. Let me see if I can find that one for you. I think that was one of the first ones I made, so it might not even be in here. This one. Yep. So I put the blue circle over the number, and then it says, please drag and drop the blue circle next to each question over the T if the statement is true, or the F if the statement is false. So a lot of them just dragged them and dropped. It just makes it a little bit more interactive. So if you're looking for digital work, the only thing that I don't know is that, because I'm using Google Classroom, is that the Google Classroom piece they can submit it to me so I can see that it's done. Liz would probably be a great resource to ask about how to see if kids have done it digitally. I don't know if there's another way. I know that because we have Google emails, we could always just create folders that the parents could drop the work into. I'm not really sure on that piece. This is just how I created um, some digital activities. There's one other resource that I wanted to share with you that I got a trial for and then ended up purchasing it because I just thought it was so much fun and my kids loved it. So I'm going to show you that right now. It's called Quizlet. And so I'm going to show you one of my Quizlets. And this can be really, if you really take the time to learn this, you could do all kinds of stuff. So these are just vocabulary words, but there's so many things that you can do. So let me see. How do I get out of this? There has to be a little bar down here to go this way. Maybe if I zoom out, maybe? Yeah, okay, we're gonna small. Okay, so this is what the kids will see. Because I made my screen smaller, I couldn't find it, but this is not what they'll see. So these become flashcards. So they click on it, and it shows them the definition. So they can quiz themselves. But the cool part is that there's other activities they can do as well. So, for example, they have, if you want to learn it, they give you some activities to do. I'm going to move you up here because it'll be easier to kind of see. So you say, got it, and it'll take you, and you'll have to decide which one it is. And they have a bunch of different games like this, which is really fun. You can do write it. They'll give you the definition. You have to write the word. They give you spell it. So then you have to, it says, you have to spell what you're hearing, which I think is really fun. And then the test, this is the one all the kids go to for the vocabulary because it tests them on the vocabulary, which I think is super fun. There's all kinds of stuff. The other part that I found really fun that I don't think I can show you because I don't have all the kids here, but when we go back to classes, we do the live, and basically it puts them into random groups, and they have to rely on each other to solve the problems. So it puts them into like groups of 3 or 4, and each of their computer screens have a certain amount of things. So I know lower grades don't all have laptops, but if you did iPads, that's fun, and each group gets an iPad, and they have to rely on each other. I don't know, these are just some interactive things that I found. I am totally not an expert. These are just things that have worked so far for me. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I love helping with this type of stuff, so I'm more than willing to try to help whoever needs help. I still have struggles with this, but this is just something so far that seems to work. I don't have as much participation as I would like, but I think that comes from we've never asked them to do this before, so just give yourself some grace. I miss all of you, and I can't wait to go back. I hope to see you soon. All right, bye-bye.